to your installation of Maya. So here I have an audio file from the movie 300, yes. So if Maya is set up correctly, all you have to do is to drag your WAV file to the timeline. Okay. If it says cannot find file, it means that it cannot recognize the audio codec that the sound is recorded in. To be able to use it in Maya, especially in Windows, you need to convert it to a format without a codec, uncompressed. So let's go to Programs. If you have Audacity, that's good. If you don't have Audacity, you can use whatever sound editing program that you'd like. In this case, I'm going to use Soundboot because I don't have Audacity here. So all that I'm going to do in Soundboot is to save as to uncompressed format and drag it to my timeline and make sure that Maya is configured to scrub through the sound. Then I can start animating.
Kung available mo ka sa Maya, sir?
Yes. If your particular version of Maya is configured that when you drag the sound in, it works immediately, then you don't have to go to this intermediate step. Alright, so Soundboot is open. Let's open up my file. In this case, it's called More Soldiers. Okay, so I'm just going to select the whole sound thing and do a file save as, and it's a Windows waveform. I'm going to save it, and the compressor is set to uncompressed. Then click on OK, and that's it. That's all I need to do. So back in Maya, I'm just going to get my updated sound file and drag it to the timeline. And you should see the waveform right there. Now, you need to do a few things. You need to click on that icon in Animation Preferences. And when the animation preferences pop out, you need to set this to real time 24 frames per second and then click on save. You can also change the height of the timeline here so you can see the waveform better, in which case I'm going to set it to 4x and then click on save so I can actually see the waveform better. So with the waveform selected, you'll notice that I don't have enough frames to display the whole waveform. I can just type in a value there in the range slider so I can get the whole sound in. In this case, I'm going to type in 100 frames. Okay, and still not enough, right? So
300.
300. How ironic, right? There you go. So 300 frames displayed. Okay, and I can zoom in to the range slider so I can see what's going on. So if I click on play, the audio should play along with it. Now it's time to do the animation. So, select the master head control. Now, the thing is, the way I usually animate is I do the phonemes first for the mouth. I do the lip sync first and then I do the emotions later. So in this case, let's start off by analyzing how the sound actually works. So, I have two words here. You there. Okay, so this is why you have to record video of yourself doing and acting out the dialogue that you got from a movie. This is so that you can actually see how the mouth is forming the shapes when you make a sound. Just because there are phonemes for certain vowels and certain consonants, that does not mean that for every vowel and every consonant in the word, you should animate for it. In fact, when humans talk, they usually slur the mouth shapes together. So if I say you there are only two mouth shapes that I need to do. You, the O YCM, and eh. There is no the. So you there. Okay, so let's start the animation. One tip. You should start the mouth shapes before sound actually comes out of your mouth. This is the way that humans work. If you're late in doing this, the lip sync doesn't look too good. If it's a little bit early, it still looks good. So you there. So I'm going to set a keyframe by selecting my master head shape and pressing S. That'll set a keyframe for all of the channels in my master head control, including my blend shapes. Alright, so you there. So I have a key 2 frames before the actual sound appears. Okay, and about 2 frames later, I'm going to open with the O-Vicene. So I'm going to set this to a value of 5.2, then press S again to set a keyframe.
You.
Ang cute.
Alright, and then a couple of frames later, I want to set it to 0 again. Press S. So let's try it out. Okay, there. So let's open the mouth slightly. So I'm going to get the jawbone, set a keyframe on it. 2 frames later, I'm going to open it slightly. Okay, 2 frames ahead, I'm going to set a keyframe for my master head control. And 2 frames later, I want to do the E-Vicene. Alright, let's test it out. Okay, and we want to close the mouth a few frames behind. So let's get the jaw and close it.
Sorry.
Selected the wrong thing. So let's close the mouth again. And okay, and let's set a keyframe for the mouth actually going back to its default shape. So set a keyframe there and set it back to 0. And let's test it out. Okay, now that you have the animation for the lip sync in place, you should go to the general movements of the head. For example, Leonidas would say, you, there. Let's keyframe the head, and then the head looking at somebody. Class, when you're a human being, your eyes move first before your head. So this happens automatically. You don't even have to think about it. For example, you're walking and you look left. Your eyes automatically look left, and then your head follows, and then your body follows. This is just the way we're built. So I should animate the eye shape first. Okay, let's delete this. Alright, so let's keyframe the eyes moving this way. Alright. And then let's animate the head shape moving a few frames later.